yesterday come in and talk to me about his mother whose mental capacity is diminishing. And he said she was having lots of problems, took her to the doctor, and they figured out she was just dehydrated. But he thinks that the dehydration, that she just doesn't drink enough water, and that the dehydration contributed to her losing some of her mental ability. Now, I don't know if she'll get it back if she drinks more water, but I told him to be sure and encourage her to drink lots of water. So drink up. All right, now I want to talk. Oh, there you go. I see Ann drinking up. There you go. So I want to talk to you about my dressings. And I have to tell you, this wasn't my idea, but I have taken my dressings and my salad to dinners and stuff, and people always ask me, well, how'd you make it and what's in it? And so I'm going to share that with you, okay? And we'll just share it. And one of the rules that, for making a vinaigrette is that you have vinaigrettes start with either vinegar, that's why they're called vinaigrettes, or you can have a different kind of acid. Vinegars are acidic, so they call it an acid. So you have, like, one of the vinaigrettes I'm making is a lemon vinaigrette. So it's made with lemon juice, and I really like that one. Now the other one is made with balsamic vinegar. So we're gonna make these, and I'll show you how we do it. And I've already got most of the ingredients out here, so I can show you. I'm going to start with making my balsamic vinaigrette dressing first. This is just a blender thing. It's like a bullet kind of thing. This one happens to be Ninja. But I use this a lot of times in making the vinaigrette because that avoids having to whisk the vinegar and oil together. Otherwise, you can make a good vinaigrette by whisking it, but this makes it easier. So this is what I call a 5-minute dressing. You can make this dressing after you've done it a couple of times in 5 minutes. And I've got measurements for you, but when I make it, I don't usually measure anything. I eyeball it. But one of the rules of making a vinaigrette is that you have 1 part of acid to 3 parts oil. So, and I only use, and I recommend using extra virgin olive oil. The studies have shown that extra virgin olive oil has a lot of properties that are good for you. And I would also like to tell everybody that you should Google on the internet blue zones, because the blue zones are areas where the National Geographic did a study of people that live the longest. And there's like 7 areas where people live longer than other areas throughout the world. And those people consistently use olive oil in cooking. So I don't use anything besides olive oil in my vinaigrettes, extra virgin. You can buy it like Costco or Sam's Club or just at your grocery store. But you should buy the extra virgin. I buy the cold press. It'll say cold press because that's probably the best quality. Here's an example of a couple of different kinds of, let's see here. Can you all see me? A couple of different kinds of olive oil. This one I got at Costco. This one I got at the grocery store. But you can see that they're in dark containers. and that helps to keep the olive oil preserved. So when I saute something, cook something, like a piece of chicken or something, I always use the olive oil. Now the only thing about olive oil is that if you're going to use something at a real high temperature, olive oil has a smoke factor if you get real high temperature. So if you got a high temperature, you probably want to use either canola oil or something like grapeseed oil. Because those will take the higher temperatures without smoking. But most of the time I just use this in my cooking, all the time. And cooking is one of my hobbies. So I love it, and I love sharing this stuff with you. So let me show you how we make. First, I'm going to make the cherry vinaigrette. And it's a cherry balsamic vinaigrette. And the reason why I'm making it is because that's the one people always eat the most of. They rave about it. So, and anybody can do this. And you can make it your own. We'll talk some more about how to do it, but one of the things I tell people is you can vary the ingredients and make your own. You just kind of start with the basic and then you can add stuff to it. We'll talk about what you can add to it. Let's start with just making a basic balsamic cherry vinaigrette. Okay, great, Timmy. Well, you know, when you're done, you can give a verdict on it. You can say, oh, this isn't very good, he's crazy. Or you can say, give it the thumbs up, whatever. So what I recommend is you just start with a balsamic vinaigrette and then experiment and see what you like. And, you know, here's the thing about it. You're gonna take this to parties and stuff, and your family members are gonna say, oh, I like that. How'd you make that? You know, where'd you get that recipe? Or something like that. And you will say, I want you to say, that's my recipe. I did it myself. That it's sort of like that Frank Sinatra song. Oh, no, you don't. You don't have to, because here's the thing. You can put your own ingredients into it. You can put a little garlic. And sometimes I do that. I like a little garlic in it sometimes because I just like to change it up. Or you can put some shallots in it. Now, you don't usually use shallots because that takes a little longer. You have to chop them up. But, and this is the 5-minute. Now, of course, I'm taking longer than 5 minutes. This is the 5-minute one. And if you want to make just a balsamic vinaigrette, you can do that by simply not adding the cherry preserves and the cherries. You do the same thing, just don't add the cherries and the cherry preserves. Now, a lot of times, if you make a straight balsamic vinaigrette, you can put honey in it. And I've got some here, like this is a tablespoonful of honey, or 2. And like if I was making a balsamic vinaigrette, just plain, I would not put the cherries in, and that would actually be a little healthier. The cherry preserves have quite a bit of sugar in them, and the honey is probably a little healthier for you. But the best of all is if you just don't put anything with sugar in it. And the next recipe I have has just a little bit of honey in it. I'll show you that. That's a lemon herb vinaigrette. So anyway, so you take this, and of course, this is it right here. Now, I'm blending this up, but now the next one, I'm gonna use the bigger blender and drizzle oil into it. With this, you don't have to. Hold on. This lid is hard to work sometimes. There we go. All right, here, let me show you. Can you all see that? Okay, you ready? here we go. Now, here's the final result on the Cherry Balsamic Vinaigrette. And here's what I recommend. See these spoons? You keep some spoons by you so you can taste as you go along, because you don't know if it's good or need something extra if you don't taste it. So you just take a little bit, taste it. Damn, that's good. Excuse my language. I think it's pretty good. I don't think it needs anything. A little more salt in it. I think that would be good. That's why I don't measure. There's no point in measuring if you're gonna do it by taste. And that's better, I think. So here we go. We've got this. Let's see here. Then I'll hit it again. But I don't think it, if I thought it wasn't sweet enough, I'd put a little more cherry preserves in there. But I think with the cherries and the cherry preserves. Now, one of the things I'd recommend to you, try it just using just the frozen cherries and see if that's sweet enough for you. Because the frozen cherries are good for you. They're a fruit, it's good for you. And it has some sugar in it, so it won't be as sweet. And if it's not sweet enough, you can either do one of two things. You can cut back a little bit on balsamic vinegar, which is what gives it that tang, that acidity. Or you can add something, a little honey to it, or some of the cherry preserves. Just up to you as to what you want to do as far as taste. So I'll just blend this again. You see how that changed color?
Yeah.
Yep. And see, let me show you. I'll get another spoon. These are my tasting spoons here. And let me just show you. See, that's thick. See, that's pretty thick. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, there it goes. Now I'm going to taste it again. Yeah, it's better. Need a little more salt. Okay, so we're done with the Cherry Balsamic Vinaigrette. Now we're going to make a Lemon Herb Vinaigrette. And this one is actually healthier, I think. Well, no, I know it's healthier because it doesn't have the preserves in it. And it's made with lemon juice. So, but I'll give you this recipe for Lemon Herb Vinaigrette, but you could make the same recipe. If you don't have Lemon Herb Vinaigrette, you can use, this is just some white wine vinegar. See that? You can use that for your acid. You can just use that and substitute white wine vinegar. Same way for the balsamic vinaigrette. If you don't have balsamic vinegar, you can use red wine vinegar. I don't think I have that out, but just red wine vinegar. So you can substitute things. And same way, like I made the cherry balsamic, but you could make it with something else. You could make a strawberry balsamic vinaigrette by putting strawberries and strawberry preserves in, just substituting it in. So that's what I say, you know, do it your way. Do it your own way. And then you can say, I made this. All right, and then let's do the, I'm gonna do the lemon vinaigrette, and it's kind of the same way, except now we're starting with lemon juice. So here, I've already done a little bit of this, or most of the lemons I've already squeezed, but I left one to kind of show you a couple things. I don't know if you can see me cutting it, but I just cut the lemon in half. And I've got one of these things. Have you all seen those? Those are handy. They're like for your lemon, lime, squeezing juice out. And because otherwise some of the seeds can fall out. And you gotta have a little container for it so that you know, otherwise when it squirts out, it kind of goes all over the place. So once again, we're gonna have 1/3 cup of the acid. So we have we have 2/3 of a cup of the acidic, because we're gonna do 3-to-1 ratio, so we're gonna do 2 cups. So 2/3 of the lemon. And now here I already had some that I had put out. There's my lemon juice. Okay, that I already did. So now I'm going to do basically kind of the same thing. And let me just say something. These vinaigrettes are so much healthier for you than like ranch dressing, those kind of things. You know, if you got some ranch dressing in your refrigerator, you ought to just take it out and throw it in the wastebasket. Because this is better, and it's better for you. Now, I'm not serious about throwing it in the wastebasket. Don't throw it in the wastebasket, but don't eat it. Wait until some other idiot comes into your house, and that's not watching their weight, not doing the right things for their health. Let them eat it. So anyway, we do basically the same thing, but I'm going to show you something a little bit different here. There's the lemon juice. Okay, and then we're going to use, where's my Grey Poupon? Oh yeah. Yeah. The lemon juice out of what? You could, I think, but I like using the real thing, you know. I don't know what's in those. It may just be lemon juice. If it's just lemon juice, you can. But sometimes they put preservatives and stuff in there, and I try to avoid that if I can. You know. So, but yeah, I think you could. I'm sure you could, because it's just another acid. The only thing is, I don't know if they would have the same amount of acidity as, as the, that's 2 tablespoons, but I'm going to put 2 more. 4 tablespoons of mustard, because that'll help emulsify it, which, you know, makes it thicker. So if you think about it, it's 1 cup oil, 1/3 vinegar or lemon juice or whatever you're using for your acid. The ratio is, I think it's easier to think about the ratio. The ratio is 1 cup, 1/3 cup, and then 2 tablespoons full of mustard. So it's 1 cup, 1/3, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and then whatever else you want to add to it. And then a cup of oil, but I'm making a big one, so I'm doing 2. So I just doubled it. But you could also double it. I mean, you could even triple it if you wanted to, or if you don't want to make as much, you could cut down on it. Here, I need to get my lid for my blender. I'm going to show you something a little different this time. Let's see here. Can you all see that? Blender?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do this time is, let's see here. Blend this up. Just a little bit. And then, when I first got a blender back when I was much younger, I thought, well, why do they have that? You know, most blenders have the lid and then you got the round thing in the middle that comes out. I thought, why do they have that round thing there? I never used it. But this is what you can use it for, is then you drizzle, and this will help it emulsify a little better. You drizzle the olive oil into it while it's blending. So, let's see here, I need to measure my olive oil. I'm just gonna put it in here. So once again, I'm gonna put 2 cups of olive oil, because we're doubling the what most people would do. And really, I use a little less olive oil on this one. I don't think you need quite as much olive oil. And it's maybe a little healthier for you. And then what we're gonna do is turn this on low. Whoa, shoot down. Low. I should have put it on partial, okay? All right, there we go. So basically that's our lemon vinaigrette. Okay, but now we're gonna do some other stuff to it. We're gonna put some herbs in there. This is some fresh basil that I had a plant over there. So I'm gonna put that in. And you can put basil or thyme or oregano in there. But I'll only have the fresh basil. And you could use, if you don't have the fresh, you can use dried spices. So I'm using a little oregano too, but it's a dried spice. But I prefer the fresh if you can get it. But I'll tell you, it's a kind of impressive looking vinaigrette when you're done with it, because you can see the little flecks of green in there. And then the other thing, on this one, I like to do is add some honey to it. Because if not, it's pretty tart. So not a lot of honey, but a little bit of honey goes in. I would say probably 2 tablespoons to begin with, and then you taste it and see if that's sweet enough or not. Because otherwise it's going to be kind of like, whoa. All right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, then I'm going to add some salt and pepper to this. I always salt and pepper my vinaigrettes and then taste them, see if they need more. Now this one's the healthier one, I think. This is the one I normally eat. But if I'm going someplace like, you know, taking something for family or stuff, I always take the cherry vinaigrette because that's the one they like. The sweeter one. Well, usually I take one of each. Sometimes I'll take one of each. I'll take one of each and say, hey, you can try whichever one you want. And I tell them the ones, sweeter than the other one. There we go. All right, now we're done. Now we taste again. See what we think. Can you all see that? I'm sorry. See that? And see, it's fairly thick. Good. Proportions taste good. It's a little tart. So I would add just a little more honey to it. Let's see here. Well, this honey will take a little while to come out. We'll just imagine I'm adding a little more honey to it. Use your imagination. All I'm telling you is you can just vary that. And you can do the same thing with this vinaigrette that I talked about. You can add shallots to this and try that. I think shallots go well with this. I've done that. Garlic. I've used garlic with it a little bit. Not too much garlic. You don't want to overwhelm it, but just put a little bit in. Here, I'll show you. Just take a little bit, put in there. And then you just blend her back up again. And here's what you should do. I'm just showing you. When you make this, try different ingredients and see which ones you like in it. So this one's going to taste a little different because now it's got the garlic in it. Good. Who was making the cherry vinaigrette? Well, or both. Were you doing both? Okay. How did it turn out? Okay. It was strong? Was it too acidic for you? Yeah. Well, if that's the case, you do 1/4 to 1. Just cut back on the balsamic. Throwing it out now. I would. Do you have cherry preserves? Oh, that's the reason why it's a little strong tasting for you too. The preserves, the sweetness cuts that a little bit. That's why you add honey to this one. So it's got a little bit of that sweet and sour taste, which I like. I mean, I think it's not as healthy to put the sugar in, but I think it's better. Do you have honey?
Yes, I do.
Add some honey to it. And maybe add a little more oil to it, and maybe a little more mustard. If you're gonna add more oil, you add more mustard, and then hit it in the blender again. And then you have to report back to us, see if it's better. But that's what I say, you adjust it to what your taste is. You know, and if it's too strong, next time just do 1/4 or maybe even a little less till you get it where you like it, where it tastes good for you. So, and some people say that the ratio ought to be 4-to-1, you know. So maybe you're one of those people, I kind of like it pretty tart, but maybe you're one of those people that would like it better that way. Yeah, you definitely need some honey in there because now you're making, since you don't have the cherry, you're really making a honey balsamic vinaigrette. So add quite a bit of honey to it and see if that doesn't help. Okay? All right, and then you can report back to us because I'm gonna move on here. All right. And it makes it a lot better. So this is a white cheddar that I bought. So you can use cheddar, and you could use yellow cheddar, or whatever kind of cheese you like. Now the other thing I've got here is I also really like goat cheese. So this is some goat cheese. And when you take the goat cheese, you have to use your fingers. Otherwise it's gonna be in big balls, and you just kind of put it all around. So I'm actually putting in 3 different kinds of cheeses here, which normally I just use one. I'd use either goat cheese or this, or the other cheese I've got is a blue cheese. Here's the blue cheese. You all see that? And once again, I don't buy the cups of pre-grated blue cheese because it's so much better if you get it in a block and then you just take it out and break it up with your hands, just like this, just like you did the goat cheese. Okay. And just break it up. And I love blue cheese, but not everybody does. So when I take a salad for like a group of people, I never put blue cheese or goat cheese on it. If I think people might want some of that, I might take it separate in a separate container so they could put it their own on, but I'll put like cheddar on there because everybody likes cheddar. So that's just something to think about if you're taking a salad for a group of people. So then let's see here. We got the cheese. So the next ingredient I like to put in is nuts. And these are some pecan halves or pecan bits. So you just take some of those, just be pretty generous with them. Now, you don't have to use the bits. Most of the time I use the regular pecan halves and then I just kind of break them up when I put them in there. But this is easy when you got the bits. And so that goes in. Then the other ingredient I like to use, and you don't have to do this. I mean, you can use various ingredients, but one of my favorites is a salad that's got apple, cut up apple, and also dried cranberries or dried cherries. If you want to vary it, sometimes I put dried cranberries, sometimes I put dried cherries in. So, and there's a little sugar on those, but they're not too bad. Now the other thing you can do is put, instead of just putting regular nuts, you can put those candied pecans on there, and those make it good. It's good. You can buy like pre-made things at Costco or Sam's Club where you can just, take it out and dump it. It's got nuts and stuff in it. But I don't like to use it normally because if you use the candied pecans, that's got they got sugar on it. That's how they make them. That's why they call them candied pecans, because they got sugar on them and it's like candy. So I don't normally eat that because of it's not as healthy. But if you're taking it for company or people are coming to your house and you're making a salad for them, then a lot of times I'll use the candied pecans then because everybody likes them. And I think it does add a little bit to it. Now I'm gonna just chop my apple up real quick. I don't have to chop the whole thing. But you just chop it up. Okay? And then you add some apple onto it. And I'm telling you, that cheese and apple and pecans and cranberries, when you get to the end and you've eaten all your salad fixings, your lettuce, and you just have some apples and pecans and cranberries and the cheese left, just a little bit, man, that's good. You don't need it's almost like a salad in itself, a little bit like an apple salad. Now there's a couple of other ingredients that I'm probably not gonna add, but you could add these. This is red onion chopped up. And if you're gonna add red onion, you wanna chop it pretty fine because it's got a little bite. And sometimes I go to a restaurant and order a salad and they'll have red onions in it. I like it, but it's kind of a different flavor and it's a little more, you know, got a little of the onion flavor in it. So the other thing that's unusual, most people don't think about, but once again, I got this at a restaurant that I love and they make a really good salad, is celery. Just some celery chopped up. And all this stuff is healthy and good for you. Now, the other thing you could do is put an avocado. See that avocado? You can put avocado in your salad. And let me just show you a trick on this. And there's a reason why I'm showing you this. Hold on, let me get a little closer so you can see. Can you all see that? No? Okay, back up. All right, the reason why I'm showing you this is my sister, God bless her soul, she's passed on, hurt herself doing this, cutting up an avocado. So this is the way you want to do it. You want to do it like this, you just cut it right down the middle. And where she got hurt was she took a smaller knife than this and stabbed it because she'd seen somebody doing it. I think she said she saw it on a cooking show. And when she stabbed it, it bounced off and cut her hand. And she had a scar and a little problem with some tendons in there. So here's how you do the avocado. Can you all see me? You just go like that with the big knife, cut it like that. Then here's the easy way to do it. You slice it right in the peel. You just slice it right in the peel. You can slice it both ways. Just slice it all the way down to the peel. See what I did there? And then, you just, see that? And then you kind of have to chop it up just a little bit, but it's ready to go in the salad. So, and I've got another one here, but I'm not gonna do that because I want to keep moving on. The other thing I like to put on, and usually put on, are strawberries. So we put some strawberries out all over it. These are sliced strawberries. And then the other thing you can do, oh wait, I forgot to tell you something else. Another kind of cheese you can use is feta cheese. And I was gonna put a little bit of that on, and I still can. This is feta cheese, but you see, it's in a block form. It's not the crumbled stuff you buy in a cup. And it's a lot better, it's a lot more moist and better if you use the feta cheese in the block and just crumble it up like this. And then something else, and I usually don't do this, but I kind of wanted to with you all, that you could put on here, if you want to, is some blueberries.
Okay.
You just put some blueberries on there. All right? And now, can you hold that up so we can see that salad? You take that to a party and they're gonna say, oh my, your salad looks good.
That's a fruit salad.
No, you just take credit for it. You know, and if people ask you for the recipe for the dressing, which they might, you know, you just say, well, you know, I just kind of threw that together. And I don't really have a recipe for it, if you want to. Or if it's a loved one and you want to share it with them, you can. But sometimes people will get your recipe and the next time you go to the party, they'll bring it, you know? So I'll leave it up to you as to whether or not you want to give it to them or not. But you just say, oh, I don't really have any measurements. I just kind of put stuff together and throw it together and it's different every time. Something like that. And then you take credit for it. All right. Now, next time, I think we're going to do this again. And next time I'm going to talk about cooking protein to go with your salad. Healthy proteins. Okay? I mean, one of them I'll just tell you is chicken breast, which is pretty healthy, you know. Then another will be chicken breast, salmon, and you can do it with any kind of fish. And then the third will be tofu. So we'll talk about how to fix all those things and add protein to your salad. Now, I eat a salad almost every night, and I love them because I change them around. It's not the same every night. I'll change them around. One night I'll use blue cheese, one night I'll use goat cheese, one night I might use feta cheese. I put different ingredients in there as we've been talking about. Sometimes I use avocado, sometimes I don't. So you just can vary it, and when you vary it, it's not like and you vary your vinaigrettes too. And as I said, you can make a vinaigrette out about just any kind of preserves if you want to. You know, you just say, okay, I'm gonna, instead of adding the cherry preserves, you add some other form of preserves and add it to it. So, all right, well, I'll let you all go, but I hope you enjoyed it. You're welcome. You're welcome. It was fun for me too. It was. I'm kind of proud of my cooking. You know, it does say Chef John on my, did you all see that? It says Chef John on my apron. It doesn't say Cook John, it says Chef John. So now, oh, I've got to go. I'm getting high side. But now we're all chefs. All of us are chefs. If somebody says, are you a good cook? You say, I'm a good chef. Because you're making your own stuff up. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.